Welcome to The Explainer. There's a revolution happening right now, hundreds of miles above our heads. And even though it's way up there, it's changing, well, pretty much everything down here on the ground. Yep, we're talking about space data.
All right, let's just jump right in. I've got a little puzzle for you, and it's one that connects the absolute vastness of space directly to what's in your wallet. Okay, so it sounds like a riddle, doesn't it? A pile of dirt in some port halfway around the globe. How could that possibly tell us anything about what's coming from major industries or even the markets? Well, turns out it can.
And the answer is a big yes, but only if you can see it in 3D, from space. See, the whole key here is being able to see things in a way that traditional methods just can't. And I'm not talking about just snapping a picture. No. We're talking about using some seriously advanced satellite radar. This stuff can see right through clouds, it works day or night, and it can build a super precise 3D model of that exact pile. Okay, so this is where it all comes together. You've got companies like Ursa Space using this radar to measure these giant stockpiles of iron ore, the stuff that's essential for making steel. And get this, at one of the biggest ports in China, they saw these stockpiles leap up by 30%, in just 1 week. A jump like that isn't just a little blip. It's a massive economic signal. It's like getting a sneak peek in almost real time into the future of steel, construction, and the whole global economy. That's the power we're talking about, seeing what nobody else can see. Now, that whole iron ore thing, that's really just one example. It's a tiny piece of a much, much bigger puzzle. What we're looking at is a totally new kind of information, and it's fundamentally changing how big decisions get made everywhere. So there's a name for this stuff. It's called alternative data. And the London Stock Exchange Group has a pretty good definition. It's basically data that doesn't come from the usual suspects, like company reports or what analysts are forecasting. Instead, it's raw data from the real world, captured from space, that gives you these incredible clues about how a company might perform in the future. And let me tell you, investors are waking up to the fact that this is every bit as important as the old school financial data. And when I say they're capturing data, I mean they are seeing everything. This is so much more than just looking at stockpiles. You've got Earth observation satellites tracking things like deforestation or how fast cities are growing. You've got weather satellites, which is how we get our forecasts every day. And then there's communications and navigation satellites, literally the backbone of our connected world. All of it is creating an absolute tsunami of data. Okay, so here's the bottom line. This isn't just for super secret spy agencies or high-flying hedge funds anymore. Not at all. This data is sending ripples through pretty much every industry you can think of, from Wall Street all the way to Main Street. And believe me, this is big business. We're talking about massive publicly traded companies worth billions of dollars. You have Viasat handling global communications. You've got Black Sky providing high-tech imaging and analysis. Then there's Iridium making sure planes and ships stay connected even when they're way out of cell range. The market is betting huge on the value of this eye in the sky. But okay, let's bring this back down to earth for a second. This quote here from a director at a major home building company, it really says it all. For them, it boils down to one word: confidence. They're using location data, powered by the very same satellite systems, to make smarter calls and get through tough economic times. Just think about what that means in practice. Let's say a movie theater looks at foot traffic data and realizes, hey, a ton of our customers go to that Italian place down the street right before the show. Boom, that single insight is pure gold. Suddenly, they can team up for a dinner and a movie deal. The restaurant wins, the theater wins, the customer wins. That's what happens when you connect the dots between data and how people actually move around in the real world. But it's not all just about business and marketing. Not by a long shot. The exact same technology is also unlocking some absolutely incredible new doors for science and for keeping an eye on our planet. Okay, this is seriously cool. Scientists can now fly a drone with a couple of pretty cheap receivers over a lake, and by measuring the GPS signals that literally bounce off the water's surface, they can calculate the lake's water level down to the centimeter. That is insane accuracy. It's a technique that lets us monitor water sources in remote places like we never could before, which is a total game changer for understanding things like droughts and floods. But there's a catch. This absolute explosion of activity in space, we're talking thousands and thousands of new satellites going up, it's creating a whole new class of very, very real problems we have to deal with. So here's the paradox we're facing. The promise? It's incredible. A truly connected globe, when you can track anything, communicate from anywhere, no dead zones. But the peril? It's basically a giant traffic jam in orbit. The sky is getting dangerously crowded with all these satellites, not to mention tons of space junk. And the risk of a massive, catastrophic collision, it's going up every single day. This has gotten so serious that the US government is now stepping in. The Department of Commerce has launched a new system called TraceAS. You can basically think of it as air traffic control, but for space. Its whole job is to send out collision warnings to satellite operators to try and keep everything up there and space itself safe for the long haul. But look, the problem isn't just about things physically bumping into each other up there. The challenges are also ethical and legal. With all this data constantly being vacuumed up, we're hitting some really tough new questions about privacy, about security, and who exactly is in charge here.
So what do we do about it? Well, researchers have actually laid out a pretty clear 4-step plan. First, be more transparent. We need to demand that these satellite companies tell us exactly what data they're collecting and who they're giving it to. Second, promote openness. That means making their full licenses public, not just some watered-down summary. Third, this needs to be a major topic in global discussions about security and the internet. And fourth, and this is a big one, we have to appreciate that the threats now aren't just from other countries. They can come from the business decisions of private companies that are sitting on mountains of this powerful data.
So, where is all this headed? What's the next step in this whole revolution? Well, the future is already here. It's happening right now. We're making a huge leap from just observing the world to predicting it. Imagine getting a real-time alert on your phone that says your competitor's parking lot just filled up. Or think about AI connecting satellite data with your credit card swipes and what you do online to build a complete predictive profile of, well, you. The insights are getting faster, they're getting smarter, and they're weaving themselves deeper and deeper into our lives. And that brings us to the final, really big thought here. This ability to see and analyze our entire world from above, it's giving us unbelievable power. Power to solve huge problems, to boost our economies, to understand our planet better than ever before. But it also forces us to confront a really profound question. In a world that's seen from above, a world that's always being watched, what remains truly private?